Now, thank you for watching. As always, this is World Over Media, and I appreciate your viewership and always urge you to subscribe to our channel. Now, today we want to look at a video that happened in Nigeria whereby the Chinese had a supermarket and they are blocking Africans, or rather the Nigerians, from accessing the premise. Now, this is happening in the Nigerian country, and to my surprise, these people were given mandate or business permit to do their business in the country, but have turned out to a racist hub, or where the blacks are being segregated. Is this surprising? Now, let's watch this video and react to it in the end.
In Africa, a Chinese supermarket has been accused of racism against locals in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Nigerians were outraged after they were denied entry inside the store for not being of Chinese descent. The West African nation's consumer watchdog has now shut down the Chinese market and summoned its owner.
Residents in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, are enraged with the way they've been treated. A Chinese supermarket in Nigeria is at the center of controversy. The shop is located in a building run by the Chinese Chamber of Commerce in the Nigerian capital. The Chinese supermarket has been accused of racism by denying entry to African shoppers. After videos of the supermarket's blatant racism against local Nigerians went viral, the West African nation's consumer protection watchdog closed down the Chinese store. So how did this instance of Chinese racism against Nigerians in their own country surface? It all started earlier this week. A group of Nigerians went to the Chinese Chamber of Commerce to shop from its supermarket. They were all stopped at the entrance by guards who said that people of only Chinese descent were allowed inside. And then the outcry began. Nigerian authorities have refused to reopen the Chinese supermarket. Reports highlight that Chinese social media is full of anti-African content. And despite calls for controlling racism on Chinese social media, Beijing has done almost nothing about it. Chinese racism came into spotlight even before the COVID-19 pandemic. Africans who were living in China became victims of Chinese racism repeatedly. Over the years, reports of Africans being treated unfairly by the Chinese have become far too frequent. It reached a point where governments had to intervene to douse the flames.
Africans need to come to the front because we need to talk about something, okay? So let's do this a scenario, okay? Pretend I, as an African, I go to China and I decide that I want to open an African supermarket, and I go ahead and I hire Chinese guards, and from day one, rules and regulation, the store policy is that I'm not going to allow no Chinese person to shop at the supermarket, even though I'm in China. Okay? Even though I'm an African in China, my policy is no Chinese are allowed. Okay? I prohibit Chinese people to shop inside my supermarket. This is what happened here in Nigeria, in Abuja. Can you imagine? In Nigeria, Chinese business owner, he go there. They open a Chinese market. They have the audacity to name it Abuja's Chinese supermarket. They hire African security, Nigerian guards at the gate. You know, the gatekeepers. And the store policy, the rules and regulation is no African is allowed to shop, to enter through the gates. Can you imagine? Haven't we Africans learned? And this is what it means when people bribe you to do weird. Africans are getting bribed left to right, left to right. How can somebody pay you in your own house to be a security, to keep your own people out, to accommodate some colonizer? Can any African in China do this type of thing these Chinese are doing in Nigeria? Can an African go build a supermarket in China and then on the policy hire Chinese guards and then say no Chinese is allowed to shop inside this market? It's only for Africans. While inside of China, would Chinese people allow this? Why do African people allow such things? Why? This is, oh my God, my word. You see, I'm uttering. I can't even describe the feeling that I'm feeling. Like, how bold are these people? right? We haven't learned anything yet. The people that's doing that stuff in the Namibia, they're doing it in Cape Town, Johannesburg, they're doing it there. South Africa, they're doing it there. They still do it. In Jamaica, they do it there. They go to these places, they come inside your house. And then they put up rules. And then they tell you you cannot enjoy your own while inside of your home. But you can't do that in their house. And the store owners, the Chinese store owners, went as far as in the past they was trying to keep the advertisement of the store a secret. So not a lot of people know of the rules and regulation of that store, right? Because they prohibited Nigerians, Africans, period, to shop.
Yes, from where I sit, I see a big danger that Africa is preparing or being cooked, and this will affect the future generation if we don't handle this carefully. The China people are really trying to come as our friends, and they're bringing different developments. They come as our partners, and they portray themselves as the best offer or the best people to be associated with or to associate with in terms of the economic development of Africa. Now, on the other hand, the West or the Europe, US have not been doing it the way China is doing it. But do you foresee a situation whereby we will be held or we will be kept at ransom with these China people, basing that we will be so much dependent on them? This calls for a different a different angle of ratifying our issues as Africa and letting our leaders know that we have to do it ourselves. We have to do it ourselves so that we don't be seen as beggars. Being seen as lesser individuals or beggars makes it so easy for us to be humiliated, and that is why these China people can humiliate or do such things even in the continent of Africa. I remember sometimes back in Kenya when China Square was closed, there was a big issue whereby during the construction, the Chinese people were humiliating the Kenyans and even carrying sticks, beating them like school children. And it was a hit in the social media, and everyone was complaining about them. So it's high time we build the Africa we need. Africa where we are not controlled or we are not seen as tools of use or dump trash. So that's what we have to start thinking of going forward, so that we be dependent. We don't be dependent. We be independent, and we can do our things ourselves, and that's when we will grow and our respect we will earn from other continents, Asia or even the West. Now, I want to see what you have to say about this topic. Let us know your reaction on the comment section, and also for us to continue with more interaction, do not forget to like or share and also subscribe to this our channel. Now, thank you and may God bless you.